Good morning, scholars. So yesterday we started talking about Greek mythology and main characters in Greek mythology, and we introduced it with Hercules, and then we talked about Daedalus and his son and the king Minos who locked him in the tower. So hopefully you watched the video yesterday and you did your assignment, and today our objective is going to be the same thing except with a new myth. So today your objective is students will describe the main characters of a myth and explain the characters' actions. So while we're reading, you are thinking about who the main characters are and thinking about why the characters are doing what they're doing. Okay, that is what I want you thinking about as I'm reading. And I apologize, my allergies are really bad today, you guys. So I have the sniffles and the sneezing a lot. All right, let me share my screen. Look, Miss G got the pictures to work today. So right here is a what? What is this? You guys know what this is. This is a gigantic ship. But I want you to notice something about the sails. Look at the picture. These are the sails. Are ship's sails usually that color? No, usually they are white. So I want you to remember that image in your head. Remember that there are black sails on this ship because later on in the story, we're going to find out why. So this is the first, this is Prince Theseus returning in his ship to Athens. Athens is a place in Greece, which is in Europe. Theseus had been raised by his mother in a town far away from Athens, and he did not know his father. However, when he was old enough, in order to meet his father, Theseus journeyed to Athens, which again is in Greece. He had many adventures and proved himself a fierce warrior. What do you think the word fierce means? If you are a fierce warrior. Also, do you think that fierce could be an adjective to describe somebody? Could you be a fierce student? Could you be a fierce friend? So when the author says that he was a fierce warrior, it means that he was very he was a very good warrior. He was able to take down and defeat a lot of people when he went to battle with other people. So when he finally reached Athens, he was shocked to hear what his father, King Aegeus, was telling him. So let's stop and think right now. So we've done one paragraph. Let's think about who are the main characters, going back to our objective. Who are the main characters that we've talked about so far? So we've learned about two. Learned about two characters. We've talked about Prince Theseus. And what was he doing? He was searching for his what? His father, King Aegeus. Then, let's keep going. Next week, King Minos and his ship returned to Athens after another 9 years, King Aegeus said. Remember, King Aegeus is Theseus's father, and we met King Minos yesterday. Theseus's father said, "This will be the most terrible time for our people when they see those black sails." Black sails? Who is this King Minos, and what happens when this ship comes to Athens? Asked Prince Theseus. Let's stop and think again. Let's think about why Prince Theseus is asking these questions. Let's think about why these are his actions. How come Prince Theseus does not know what's happening with the black sails? What did the author tell us at the beginning of the myth about Prince Theseus growing up? He said that he was raised by his mother and he did not know his father. So remember, he had to travel to Athens to find his father, which is why he does not understand what is happening with the black flag, the black sails. So his father answered him, "King Minos, who rules the great island of Crete, has the mightiest navy and army on earth. Several years ago, his son was visiting here in Athens. There was a terrible accident, and the young man never returned back to Crete. I sent word to King Minos in Crete explaining what had happened and how sorry we were. But King Minos would not listen. He and his warriors attacked and conquered Athens. So again, let's go back to what our objective is, identifying the main characters. So let's do that first. What are the characters that we've met so far? So we've met Prince Theseus, we've met his father, and now we are talking about King Minos. Those are three main characters that we have been talking about thus far in the writing. But right here it says that King Minos sent warriors and attacked Athens when his son died. Think about his actions. Why did King Minos attack Athens? What did the text say? Use your text evidence if you can remember. I'll go back and read. Several years ago, his son was visiting here in Athens. There was a terrible accident and the young man never returned to Crete. I sent word to Crete explaining what had happened and how sorry we were, but King Minos would not listen. So again, stopping and thinking about why did King Minos attack Athens? Tell your parent the evidence from the text that tells us what he did, why those were his actions. Then King Minos announced, "You Athenians must share my sorrow. My son was 18 when he went to Athens. Every 9 years I shall send to you a ship with black sails. This ship will take 7 of your Athenian men and 7 Athenian women, each my son's age, to Crete. There I shall send those Athenians into the labyrinth." Labyrinth, that's a word we don't know. "And what is a labyrinth, Father?" Theseus asked. So what do you think a labyrinth is? It's kind of a weird word. The text says, "There I shall send those Athenians into the labyrinth." So tell your parent or whoever's in the room with you, what do you think a labyrinth is? All right. This is called the labyrinth and the Minotaur. So looking at this picture, if I am thinking about what a labyrinth could mean, I'm looking at that it kind of looks like a dungeon, and I see stairs over here. It looks dark and creepy, so maybe it's like a dungeon where they put people. And I'm thinking that this creature right here is probably going to live in there. All right. A labyrinth is an enormous maze of twisting tunnels and rooms cut into the hillside near King Minos' palace. Minos commissioned the master inventor, Daedalus. We learned about him yesterday. Remember yesterday they talked about how brilliant he was, which is why King Minos put him in that tall tower, because he thought he couldn't escape, remember? So before all that happened though, King Minos had used him to design this labyrinth, this huge maze of places that all you can do is get lost in. Once inside, a person becomes hopelessly lost. Worse yet, living in the maze is the Minotaur, a monster that is half bull and half man. So would you think that the Minotaur is a main character in this mythology? What do you think? And what kind of is it even a character? Can we say that a Minotaur is a character? Remember, can you tell your parent what the 3 things were, the characteristics of a character? We said it's a person, a creature, or an animal, right? So which one of those does the Minotaur fall under? Also, does the Minotaur sound like a mythical creature to you? Or do you think it's a real creature? A creature that is half bull and half man? Yeah, it sounds like a mythical creature. All right, so the Minotaur knows every inch of the maze and hunts down whomever enters there. Many times King Minos has sent his black-sailed ship to carry away 7 of our young men and women, and none of them ever gets out of the labyrinth. And now, next week, what do you think is going to happen? What did they say happens every 9 years? King Menotos sends that ship with the black sail to collect the people. Yep, so every 9 years, the ship with the black sails arrive at Athens and they collect how many men and how many women? Do you remember how old they were? So they collect 7 men and 7 women who were 18. Why is 18 an important number? Why does the king choose that number? What was his actions for that? What was he thinking? Had to do with his son. His son was how old? His son was 18, so he chooses 7 18-year-old women and 7 18-year-old men and puts them on the black sails. All right, let's go to the next image. So here we see what? What do we see? I see people climbing onto the ship, so I know from the text that it's the black sail, so that must be the ship that is sent from King Menotos to Athens, Greece, where they are collecting those 7 men and 7 women that are 18 years old. Good. So Theseus, now let's think about who our main characters were again. Back at the beginning, we met Theseus, and he is the son of King Agnes. Remember, Theseus was the one who was looking for his father at the beginning of this myth. So Theseus decides that he is going to get on the ship with the others. He tells his father, "You know my skills as a warrior, and I am 18 years old. I will take the place of one of these people, and I will stop the Minotaur before it can strike again." His father tells him no. However, Theseus says, "How can I let this continue when I know I can stop it? I am the person with the best chance against the beast." Finally, Theseus convinced or persuaded, talked his father into letting him go, and told him that if he was successful, he and the other Athenians would return on King Minos' ship, and they would change the sails from black sails to white sails. So going back to our objective again, thinking about characters' actions, explaining the characters' actions. Why do you think Theseus wants to go? What does the text say that Theseus thinks about himself? What actions does he think he can do if he goes? He thinks he's a very strong warrior or a fierce warrior, like we learned the vocab word earlier. And he thinks that he can win. And when he comes back, he's going to do what to the ship? He's going to change the sails. Good. All right, a week later, the prince and the other young Athenians boarded King Minos' ship. Remember, King Minos is the one who sends the ship over. When they reached the island of Crete, guards led them to the King Minos' throne. There, Minos sneered or made an ugly face, a face of dislike, distaste, like, ugh. "It is fitting," said the king, "that the son of the king of Athens, you, Theseus, should not return to your home, just like my son did not return to ours." What do you think the king means by that? Thinking back in the text that we've read, what do you think the king means by that? Sorry, guys, I know the sniffles are probably really annoying. So remember, King Minos' son was 18, and did he get to come back to King Minos in Crete? No, he did not. So now, the son of the other king, Theseus is the son of the other king, and so King Menotos is like, yes, this is perfect. Now, this is going to be an excellent way for me to get back at that king, that country, right? Because now your country took my son and our country is going to take you. All right. Theseus responded to him, "It is more fitting that the son of the king of Athens should end this horrid business once and for all." So again, like we talked about, Theseus thinks he's going to be able to go into the labyrinth, the tunnels, the dungeons, the maze, and beat the Minotaur and come out victorious, come out in a win, right? What do you think? Do you think that he's going to be successful? Do you think he's going to be able to go in there and defeat it? Oh, let's look at the picture. It looks like we might be meeting another character. All right, this is Princess Ariadne. Princess Ariadne. She is the daughter of King Minos. She is the daughter of King Minos, the mean, evil king that is sending the black ship, the black sails ship, and the same king who locked Daedalus in the tower yesterday. So she was amazed to see that Theseus was not afraid. She thought, "What an extraordinary man. I must save him. But how? Even I would not be safe from my father's fury or my father's anger." When you have fury, it means that you're really, really upset. You're mad. You don't want nobody to talk to you. You are just angry. So again, let's think about what was our objective today: to identify the main characters and then talk about the characters' actions. So what actions did Theseus do that made Princess Ariadne want to save him? What actions did Theseus do? What did he do? What were his actions that made her want to save him? He was very brave, right? He came in like, "I'm going to win, you are going to lose, and I'm going to end this for all." And so that made Princess Ariadne think, okay, how can I help him? Because do you think that she wanted this to end too? Let's make an inference about it. Let's think. Do you think that she liked seeing all these people come and being put in the labyrinth to die? I don't think she did, which is why I think, as I'm reading it as a reader, I'm thinking she wants to help because she also does not like this foolishness. So the princess needed help, so she went to see the most brilliant man she knew, who happened to be the creator of the labyrinth. Who was the creator of the labyrinth? Yep, the same character that we met yesterday, Daedalus. Good. So I want you to notice in the picture though, what is in his hand? I want you to just think about that for a second, using the picture to help us understand the story and understand what the author of the myth is talking about. Just like we looked at the sails, I want you to look at what is in Daedalus's hand. Daedalus told her, "It is impossible to sneak a weapon into the maze. The guards would find it and remove it, and eventually they would trace it back to you. However, if the reports of Theseus's bravery are true," we talked about bravery in school when we were talking about fighting for a cause and all the people who were brave and stood up, remember? We talked about that. So you know what it means to be brave. So if Theseus's bravery is true, he may still have a chance fighting the Minotaur. Then at least we can help him find his way back out of the labyrinth. Here is what you must do. So again, I want you to stop and think. Be a good reader. Good readers stop and think, and they even use pictures to help them think. What does he have in his hand? So to me, it looks like string or yarn. I hope you have that same thought. And what do you think that he's going to do with it? What do you think that that's going to help him do? Let's think about what the author wrote, okay? So the author said just before this Daedalus said, the author said that it's impossible for him to take a weapon in. However, they could help him find his way back out. Because remember, what is the labyrinth? The gigantic what? Maze. gigantic maze. And so a lot of people can never get out of it because either they can't find their way or the Minotaur gets them. So he has string in his hand and he's saying this can help him find his way back out. So what do you think he's going to do with that string? What are his actions as a character right now that he's going to do? What do you think is going to happen with the princess and Daedalus and Theseus? Some more, our three characters right now in that string. Tell your parent or tell somebody in the room with you, what do you think they're going to do with that string? I'm wondering if maybe he's going to use it to tie up the Minotaur and then get out. Or maybe he's going to use it to leave little pieces of string to help him find his way out. I don't know. Let's find out. All right. So who are our characters here? We have the princess. Sorry, and I forgot her name. The Greek mythology's names are a little bit hard. So we have Princess Ariadne. Princess Ariadne. Yep, that's one character. And who do you think this is? Using the clues, who do you think this is right here? That's Theseus, right? That's the one that came who said, who's being very brave, that she's trying to help. Good. So what is she giving him? She's giving him that string. So that night, the princess went to Theseus's room in her father's palace. She told the young hero, wind this ball of string around yourself beneath your clothes so the guards will not see it. After you enter the labyrinth, tie one end of the thread to the handle of the gate and unwind the rest as you go through the maze. If you defeat the Minotaur, rewind the thread and it will lead you back to the same route to the gate. If you succeed, however, you must take me with you to Athens, for if my father finds out that I have helped you, do you think her father's going to be happy or mad? Or what other words could you use to describe how her father would feel besides happy and mad? I can say furious, disappointed, frustrated, right? He's not going to be in a good mood at all. So Theseus says, of course I will take you. And he tells her, thank you. So let's stop and think right here. What do you think is going to happen next? What do you think is going to happen next? So I think he's going to do like she said. Now remember when I looked up here, I was like, oh, maybe he's going to use it to tie the Minotaur up or use little bits and pieces to take his way back, which he kind of is, right? Like that thinking of mine was right. Did you have the same kind of thoughts? And were you right in your thinking? Because she told him to tie it to the gate and it's gonna, you know, keep him attached to the exit. So when he's done killing the Minotaur, he can find his way back out. Because what is the labyrinth? What did the text say the labyrinth was? It's a gigantic what? A gigantic maze. So the string is going to help him find his way back out of that maze. Okay, you guys, so we're gonna pause right there because we are now at 23 minutes and that was a lot of text I know today for you. I hope you are enjoying the Greeks as much as I am. I know the names are really silly, they're funny. So again, let's think about what our objective was today. Our objective was describing the main characters and explain the character's actions. So I want you for your homework to describe Theseus. Write me a sentence or two using adjectives describing who Theseus is as a character in the story. Make sure you're using those adjectives, okay? And remember, it can be about who he is, how he's brave. I could even look at the picture of him and tell you what I think he looks like using those adjectives, what kind of person he is towards other people. We did all those lessons in class, you guys. Then I want you to tell me about her actions, Princess the princess's actions. And don't worry, again, if the spellings of their names are not correct. Just remember to try your best and underline them. So I know that you tried to chunk it out and write it. And then go ahead and either email it to me, or you can type it in the comments, or you can send it to my phone. You can take a picture of it and send it to my phone. All right, you guys. Well, I love you, and I hope that you also make sure you watch Miss Arguello's lesson today and you're doing her work, as well as Miss Arnold's. And I will talk to you guys later, okay? Bye. Have a great day. Oh, there I am again. Okay, bye.